closing price here. Talk about what to expect this week as we get into the peak of earnings season. Pretty exciting. All right, we'll go over today's plays as well as the market. So let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for February 1st, 2021. Qs up 2.5% and SPY up 1.6. Okay, coming into today, we talked about the sell setup that we had in the market. It got to target, right? This was the sell setup. We made it back to the lows. All right, and now we're doing another sell setup. As you can see here, here's the retracement and back down. Again, we're getting the retracement. Will this lead back to the lows, right? That's what we're going to be watching for going into tomorrow. Okay, so we haven't really triggered this sell setup yet. Looks like maybe into the final part of the day, got underneath there just by a few cents there. So what we really need to see is a little bit more follow through in the morning. Okay, if we get that, let's say we get a small gap down, we get a little bit of follow through, then today's high, where will be our new resistance? Okay, it'll give us another pivot just like we had here. Okay, so we're looking for this again. All right, if we get follow through. Now, if it comes in the morning and then goes right back up, takes that out, we will no longer be bearish. Okay, so we are going to be bearish going into tomorrow. It was an impressive rally today, but we can anticipate that today's high is going to be our next reference point there. And so we'll see how the market deals with that. Okay, so that's the plan for tomorrow. SPY, same pattern here. Okay, actually a little bit of a better sell setup here because the amount of retracement is closer to 50%. I think the Q's retracement is a little bit much, so that could be a sign that the sell setup is likely to fail, but we're going to wait until it actually does so before switching from a bearish bias. Okay? All right, but this morning, if you were with me, you're trading the open with me. I didn't have a bearish bias at the open, neutral, just let the market play out because we already had the move from Friday, the follow through to the sell setup, big bar. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we had either an inside bar or some kind of counter rally. Okay, so I was going to wait and see. And market ended up being bullish, and we had a lot better gap ups anyway. Okay, the BCRX was actually the favorite gap up for me. I like that the monthly base that it has here is getting cleared, and then the daily clearing the resistance there over the top. So BCRX was kind of the first watch for me right at the open, but never triggered. So I'm going to play this over the top there right before kind of the platform went down. I know a lot of people had platform issues this morning, but that's what I was anticipating. Came in instead, and then you know, kind of rounded out the bottom here before taking off. I ended up missing this on the BCRX, and then again, you know, in the afternoon here, set up a breakout right here, and as I told the room, it looks good. I like it higher. It may go without me, but the 15-minute is just too extended at the time of the entry there, way down here. And so I did have to let this one go. But unfortunately, you know, it's just too extended. But it was the favorite gap, and a lot of that comes from the larger time frames. Now, that's why we ended up going after the DVAX. Okay, so DVAX was the play in the room here. We played it over. What was the entry there? 747 was the entry. Let me take a look at the 2-minute here. So as we, what was the call on this? 747 by 719 on the DVAX. All right. Yeah, it was on this pullback right here. So we ran up and then got a nice buy set up in here. Okay, so that was 747. Underneath that, gave it a few cents by 719. Okay, so it did take some time actually for this thing to get going. We did have to be a little bit patient with it. And finally, as we broke 780, I said go ahead and take some and then trail another piece to the 2-minute. So we did get shaken a little bit right there before the next run up. And then as we got to 860, I said go ahead and take the rest of it under the 2-minute. So I think this trailed around 830. So not too bad, really. I told the room this as well, you know, because this was in the morning, so we don't know how far this thing's going to go. It got the volume, got the pretty extended move up. But, you know, I'm not too bothered really by the management. Now, you look at this, and of course, you think, well, that's too bad that we're not in it here. But you know, having like such a nice move without really a good place to trail, you know, I'm really not too bothered by the management. There were opportunities to replay it. So you do have this 5-minute base here to get back in. And even that as a 5-minute pullback is not too bad either. So there were some opportunities to get back in. As far as the morning play, I think that's fine, even though the capture rate on that's going to be really, really low, just because this thing went 15 Rs from the play. So, and you can see, you know, the big transition that this is doing here on the daily, on the weekly, right? Carved out this base, 20 MA just starting to point up, right? Same thing on the monthly is carved out this base now, right? Putting in a higher low above that previous low there. So, you know, the combining these things together, you know, is why we go after these plays, because it's the potential that they have really nice big moves. Now, this is, you know, one of the biggest moves that I've called so far this year, for sure. And, you know, it's something that if you're going to try to stick it with it for the big move, you know, the 10, 11, this one 15 R plays, you are going to have to live through these pullbacks. And it's not the easiest thing. And, you know, that's why I don't think it's that easy. So that's why I don't really feel too bad about it, because it did go from 860 all the way back down to $8. We played it with a 28-cent stop, so that's a difference of 2 Rs right there, just in a matter of what, 10 minutes. So, you know, I think on this, either if you're really determined to stick with it, you're gonna have to live through some pullbacks, or play the reentry. But overall, you know, I'm pretty happy with this play. I thought we did a good job this morning. Anytime that we have tech issues, I mean, the charts weren't loading for a bit in the morning, to kind of stay focused and continue to trade throughout the day and then finish out the day, I think, is something that I wasn't really able to do early on in my trading career. Tech issues would definitely throw me off. You know, and if I missed the morning, what would happen is as soon as the platform was back up and things were okay to trade, I would try to make up for lost time and be overly aggressive. I thought this morning, you know, kind of weathered it, scanned well, and then made sure to only take high quality plays. So, you know, it's something that I think if you've made progress in as well, take pride in that. And if it's something you need to work on, honestly, I think the next few days or weeks, maybe even, this may come up more. So I don't think it's a problem that's going to be just limited to today. So something to be aware of and be mindful of, okay, in the days to come. Okay? All right. Hope you did well today. We got plenty more earnings coming up this week, so we should have a lot of gaps, a lot of plays here. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. I will talk to you tomorrow. We'll see how this hourly sell setup in the market forms and what kind of follow through it gets tomorrow. Okay? And I'll talk to you then. Have a good rest of the day.